Howdy everyone, this is LockNutz, and you're watching a map tour of Estancia Sao Carlos by DH Modding. Hopefully you'll stick around to see what happens. Howdy, how are you guys doing today? Oh my goodness, I tell you what, today we get to do a map tour of Estancia Sao Carlos by DH Modding. Ooh, I tell you what, this map is 122.21 megabytes to download and is very cross-platform friendly, so you can go ahead and play along with your friends. Ooh, gotta love it, got to love it. Let's open up those gates, get on through here. So I have gone ahead and started this gameplay off in new farmer mode. That way, when we go and look at everything, you'll know exactly what you would get if you do start off in new farmer mode. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and see what the map maker has to say. Estancia Sao Carlos is a Brazilian map based on the region of the municipality of Jatai, Goias. Map with 26 medium and large size fields, all with missions. The map has a machine store, city with production points such as bakery, carpentry, grape work, plus a market that accepts various product, fuel station near the store, a BGA grain in general, along with potatoes, beets, and sugarcane can be sold in the 3 warehouses present on the map. The co-op accepts various products as well as being the point for animal traders. If you need limestone, bring a trailer of stone to sell at the limestone merchant. Bales in general can be sold at the bale point next to warehouse 2, sawmill for selling wood, and plant production points to sell milk. Go to the dairy. In this area there is a production point for milk derivatives. The main farm has 2 sheds to store your machinery, plus a house for sleeping, pasture for sheep, chickens, a fuel tank, and a water tower. A secondary farm features a large shed for machinery, plus a sleeping house, pasture for cows, bunker for silage, and a water tower. All terrains on the map can be bought. Already placed items can be sold for customization. There is no snow on this map. The winter in this region is only cold and dry. So it looks like we have a ton of stuff in here. It's awfully slick. Now, if you start this gameplay off in new farmer mode, you will start off with $100,000. If you start off in farm manager mode, you will start off in $1.5 million. And start from scratch mode, you will start off with $500,000. And that's what you would start off cash-wise. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what you would start off for machinery and implement wise. Alright, now looking at the machinery here, you do start off with 1 small New Holland tractor. She is a workhorse, and 2 medium tractors, 1 Valtra and 1 Massey Ferguson. You do start off with 1 John Deere harvester, along with 1 John Deere grain header, 1 John Deere corn header, and 1 snazzy header trailer. You do start off with a truck. Now, one thing I want to bring up about this guy here is if you start off on new farmer mode, farm manager mode, or start from scratch mode, you will start with this truck no matter what. So if you do start off with anything else, you have at least something to roll around in. You do start off with 2 trailers on here, not too shabby. You start off with 1 plow, 1 disc harrow, 1 planter, a hardy sprayer, a fertilizer sprayer or spreader, and this does not spread lime, so if you need to spread lime, that will not cut it. You do start off with 1 Joskins water trailer, and you do start off with 3 snazzy weights. So that's what you would start off with if you did start off in new farmer mode. Now let's take a look at the map and see what you'd start off with there. All right, so here is the map, and as you can see, we don't have any regularly shaped fields, and what I mean by regularly shaped fields are like the square fields, the rectangular fields, ones with a lot of sharp edges on them. So you do have quite the variety of different things on here, and we are only having just the standard crops. There's nothing extra or special on this map. These are the warehouses that they were talking about. There's one warehouse right there. There's your co-op, there's your debris crusher, there's a lime station right there. Up here at this farm, this is where you're talking about where you have the water tanks that are up here. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Here's warehouse 1, warehouse 3, so those are the 3 selling points they were talking about. You do have the dairy. Now this is where the dairy is located up there. You have the BGA, 1 fuel station, a supermarket for selling your goods and pieces, sawmill where you can go ahead and do that stuff in there, and then you do have the grape processing, the bakery, and the carpentry in town. Now, as for what you actually start off with normally, let's go ahead and take a look at this. You do have this section right here, and it's all one. You start off with field 7, and then you do start off with the farmyard. Now down here, this is one of the other farmyards down here. It does come along with field 17. It's more expensive than this guy up here, but this is one of those places you can get along with, I would say there's probably a third starting location, and that would be right here. For $241,000, 242, you can go ahead and pick this up and kind of do whatever the heck you want. It does not start with a field like these two up here, but at least it is a starting option. Now, when we're looking at the price of the fields, field 15 is the cheapest one on here at $246,000. It's quite it's kind of costly, but you know what? It is what it is. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have field 20, which is obviously the largest field on the map. You have that guy up there. 2 is pretty big, but this one here is 1.6 million. This one up here, field 5, is 1.3, and as you can see, the field prices are relatively expensive here. It really is what it is. There's not much getting around it. Now, some of the neat things are when it comes to all of these different locations over here where you do have the sell points and all that jazz, you can go ahead and actually purchase the majority of the land up here where all this stuff is. Over in here, you do have these small little bits and pieces that you can go ahead and purchase. Some of these are store locations, other ones are sell points, so kind of keep that in mind. But with these larger areas right here, if you want to do any production things that are not on the map or add sell points, there is more than enough space on these areas to be able to go ahead and put something down if that is what you're choosing to do. So kind of keep that in mind for moving forward. Now at this point, let's go ahead and take a little whirlwind tour around the map. Alright guys, so before we get going any farther, I'm going to go ahead and bring the map up in the corner of the screen. That way you guys can kind of follow along with what's going on here. We're just going to take a quick little run around the starting farm right here, just so you guys can see what's going on. Obviously they have like an open concept sort of free-range chickens set up right here, so you got that. Right next to it is the sheep stall, which I kind of like that. I think that's pretty neat. Here is where your sheep stall is, right over here, so you got this going forward. There's also plenty of room up here if you want to add silos or any other buildings on this particular farmyard. You do have this nice little overhang over here, along with more storage space on the inside, so there is quite a bit of storage space here. I do like these open concept sort of things, bringing stuff in and out, but I personally am a fan of you open the door and you never shut it because it just gets in the way and slows me up. So, oh boy, so here's your water tower as well. I mean, ultimately, guys, there's space here. There's a lot of space to stretch your arms out and run around. It's actually pretty cool. I love that the transformer up there for the power lines is making a lot of noise. Might want to get that fixed, but it's not their problem. Alright, so here is our little bad mamma jamma of a truck, and like I was saying before, guys, this truck is available at all times. No matter what you're doing, it's always going to be on here, no matter what mode you do start off on. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is kind of go in a clockwise sort of fashion, kind of take a little tour around the map before we jump up into the air and fly around like Mary Poppins to take a look from the sky. Now, one thing that I like to do, guys, and I do apologize if it does bother some people, I really do like to drive through the fields, not to go ahead and destroy crops or anything like that, but I feel it gives us a better vantage point, a better feel for the land when it comes to picking up your machinery, what you have to do, how you need to go about and take care of your land. And as you can see on this massive field 5 here, you're going to have some horsepower, either that or patience, because this is just a massive field. Being able to go ahead and do your plowing and other... jumped out of there. Plowing or other various bits and pieces, you're going to need some stuff out here. We're just taking a peek at this because this is one of those little islands in the middle of the field. It does look like all these trees you can knock down probably relatively easy here. Plow under the land and just make that one large section of field if that is what you do choose to do. If you don't, it is kind of nice having these little islands out in the middle. It breaks up the monotony of just doing one big field over and over and over again. At least that's kind of how I feel about it when I'm working on the larger fields. It really is nice to have something to break it up just a hair. So we're going to continue on over here, and we're actually going to go ahead and jump on the road here for a little bit. This is kind of odd for me. But I wanted to take a drive on the road because if you are playing with crop destruction on, you're going to kind of want to see what these roads look like. And for the most part, my little bit of traveling around that I've done beforehand, it is actually pretty wide open. The roads are all relatively smooth. There's only been a handful of locations where I've seen that's not necessarily the case, where it is kind of messy. So let's come right up into here. Now this, why am I bringing us here? This is the store, and I want to hop out of this truck right now so I can go ahead and reset this, and you guys can see exactly where this resets to. And as you can see, all it did was just move off to the side just a hair. So if you do have to reset anything, this is 100% where it's going to end up going. Keep that in mind as you move forward. Alright, come on, there we go. Perfect. Alright, so let's come out here and we will actually... let's take a left here. And as you can see, coming out of the store here, there is a nice large area. So if you have to kind of pull yourself out and kind of get yourself going in the right direction before you take off into traffic, you definitely have that nice side path over here to be able to get through. I really like that. I enjoy how that ends up feeling. Let's get ourselves going this way. Cut that guy off. That'll happen. And up here are these smaller areas for selling, the smaller sell points. Here is the restaurant right here. Oh, that's right. You actually have to get into it around the other side over there. We'll take a quick little loop around here. But in town, when it comes to these areas where you do have to sell things, like this is your bakery right here, it's tight. It's tight quarters back here, so you really are going to have to plan this out really well. There's really not really a place to turn around down there. Kind of is, but biggest thing that you're going to end up doing when it comes to driving around town and making any sort of deliveries or anything, you're going to have to really plan ahead. Well, I guess you can come and turn around right here. We'll go and take a look. We're not going to smash into that, that's for sure. We'll come over here and we'll take a look at that store just so I can show you what I'm talking about. And then we'll continue on around outside of town here just to kind of wander the yard to see what things are going on. So here you go. Here's your sell point. It's kind of tight. You'll have to more than likely back in. And unfortunately, most of the trailers in the game are having that articulating front axle. which makes it pretty hard to back. Others are better at it than me. I'm just not good at backing stuff up. So if you're not good at backing stuff up, you may want to take a look at that one there. Oh, man. Oops. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Let's come back around this way. I meant to come over here. We'll stop right here. This is a good example of what I was talking about. So this is one of those areas that you can go ahead and, is this one of the ones you can purchase? Nope, this is not one of the areas that you can go ahead and purchase. But as you can see, most of the places that you can purchase, like those warehouses they were talking about, which we will drive up by here in just a little bit. Let's cut out into this field. There is a ton of room along the outside. Now, this particular field right here actually doesn't look too bad. Not too many elevation changes. It's not the end of the world getting around and through here. But this is, there we go. This is what I was talking about. This is one of the warehouses, and as you can see, it does have more than enough room to kind of get around here, maneuver around, and if you want to, maybe potentially back here, place something a little bit smaller, but it definitely should be able to work out pretty slick right there. And let's keep on coming through here. Nice large roof right there, so you don't have to worry about your trailer smashing into the top. It's pretty good for that. You should not really have much of an issue. Let's continue on down here. We'll actually hop on the road here for just a little bit as we come around. And once you get outside of town, as you can see, you're really not going to have to worry too much about traffic or other vehicles really coming around here. It's not going to be that big of a deal. There really aren't many trees along the side of the road. Obviously, there's one right here. So if you are deciding you're going to rock and roll with your header on and not using a header trailer, you should be able to navigate these areas relatively easy. Yeah, let's keep on coming down this way. And this is kind of neat right here. Kind of getting down to this lower level of the map. Once we get a little higher in the sky, you'll be able to see it, but it really is pretty terranced. It's not too shabby at all for being able to navigate around, and there are some... I mean, pretty much what I'm trying to say, guys, here is you take a look at this. You do have elevation changes. There are elevation changes. That area up there is physically higher than where I'm sitting right now, but it's not drastic. It's not... you're not going to have your teeth rattled just by driving around over here. That's not going to end up happening. So you can kind of keep that in mind as you are going about and doing things. Now, I'm going to stop right here for just 1 second. And I'm going to hop out here because this is that area that I was saying you can purchase. And you potentially have the ability to go ahead and kind of set up a farm right over here. It's not too shabby by any means. It's not flat. It's not flat. But you do have that ability, even if you go ahead and if you were to use it in a way where up here is a nice flat area for going about doing your normal business for farming. Maybe once you get down over here, you can terrace levels down. Maybe you have a little driveway going down there. Landscaping may end up having to happen, but it's ultimately not that bad. And one thing that I want to point out, guys, is that one of the things that you do have is an option right here for you. We're not going to go ahead and try and put this up here right now, but if you come into here and you want to go ahead and add some custom things that are set up for this particular map, if you come over here to containers, you will have a medium petrol tank and 2 different styles of water towers. Other than that, you're not really looking at much of anything different. You do have a couple nice custom to this map houses, but other than that, there really isn't much extra on here. Other than like this is a cow pasture. This is going to be something that we're going to see at the other farm. So essentially any of the placeable animal shelters, that stuff you can go ahead and put down on this map as well if you decide to go ahead and take that route. But as for right now, let's hop back in here and continue our little tour of the map. Oh, come on. There we go. We're going to go up here and take a look at this location. We'll take a look at this location right up over here, which I believe this one is one of the warehouses. Yeah, I believe this is one of the warehouses right here. Gotta drive on the right side of the road. Alright, yep, there we go. This is one of the warehouses. So again, like I was saying before, you do have quite a bit of space back here. If you want to go ahead and throw down a production thing, you do have more than enough room. And as an example here, let's just go ahead and throw down the oil mill so you guys can kind of see what's going on here size-wise. Size-wise, you can get the thing back here. Now, if you go ahead and buy enough of these little plots of land, you are going to have that capability of making things happen. And one really cool thing about this, along with virtually every Brazil map that I've ever seen, you do have lots and lots of room within your sell points, just like that. There's more than enough room to navigate back over there. Hands down, no problems at all. You're just not going to have them. And as we get down over here, we're coming up to that second farm location. Like I said, this one does come with this field right next to this field 17. That's a decent sized field right there. A little drop off. And as you can see, this farm here does come with a bunker silo. Comes with a water tower. Nice little shed. Is this the cow pasture? Is the pasture over here? Yes, this is. Okay. Alright. Not the cow pasture, but it's not going to pop up unless I actually have it. So, it could possibly be the pig trough. Maybe that is the cows over there. That is the cows. Until you go ahead and buy this stuff. Nice, large shed. I absolutely love that. That thing is awesome. And then over here is your house for your selling of everything. So, or not selling, saving. You don't sell at the house. Oh boy, that's rough. Alright, so let's keep ourselves rocking and rolling around here. We'll get around the corner here just a little bit. Now, one of the things that you kind of have to watch out for, every once in a while, kind of like that, when you are going into a field, there are quite a bit of fields over here that have a pretty steep embankment when you're coming out of it or trying to get onto it. So kind of keep that in mind. And as you can see here we are back over here in kind of this area where you do have these elevation changes. Now this side over here, you're definitely going to need a little extra horsepower to get things done, just because it's steep. It's steep, and it's going to force you to go ahead and really work this out. So kind of keep that in mind when you're going ahead. Oh my gosh, slid around there. Keep that in mind when you are going about and trying to maneuver yourself around on these areas. And here is the one real main road that you got coming along here, and right over there is our main farm. So at this moment, guys, what I'd like to do is fly up into the sky, get our Mary Poppins hat on, and take a look at this map from the bird's eye view. Alright, so here we go. We're all ready, set, here we go. Alright, so as you guys can see, there's not a lot for real forestry or anything like that. You do have quite a bit of elevation change from way up here on the high point of the map, all the way down to the very bottom corner over there, where you do see it is much, much lower. The hills on here, they're not super steep. They're all relatively smooth. The whole terrain on this map is really, really smooth. It's not very bumpy. It's not very rattle your teeth undulated. It's not that bad. But you do have the elevation changes. Let's come down here just a little bit so you can get a little bit better view. It ultimately, guys, is a super, super slick map. I really, really like this one. I'll be honest, full disclosure, not really ever been a big fan of Brazil maps, but this one here, it makes me feel good inside. I don't know how to describe it. It just makes me feel good inside. I definitely want to go ahead and download this one, or I have downloaded. I definitely want to go ahead and play on this one. Jump into it. If you guys want to, go ahead, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of this map. What is it that you want to do on this map? Have you popped it open yet? Have you looked onto it? Let me know what you guys think, what you feel about it. Comment down below. I would appreciate it. And with that being said, don't go ahead and take my word for it. You guys download it for yourselves. Go ahead and smash that like button if you're liking what you're hearing, liking what you're seeing. Help the channel out by going ahead and hit that subscription. Turn the notification bell on and have it set to all. That way you know when this and other great videos are coming out. Go ahead and share this with somebody, well, somebody from Brazil, or somebody who speaks Spanish, or somebody who just loves the way that this looks. Ah, my gosh, I love this. Absolutely love this. Oh, guys, I tell you what, until we get to the next one, I gotta say it, not because I want to, or not because I have to, but because I want to. Thanks for stopping by.